Hi there!
Hello.
Scary Gary here. And guess who's here? Mary Lou, the person behind the scenes. Well, we have one more trip to take from Pigeon Forge home. And we originally planned to go down to Lakeside RV Park in Livingston, Louisiana. Had the reservation all set and everything. And this is one of the places we went last year on our trip. Unfortunately, a hurricane came through and it was going to be going right through that general area. So we decided to change up our trip. So or instead of coming south and coming into Texas, we basically went into Arkansas and then through Oklahoma and that way back. We tried to go to the downtown RV park, but they were full up completely. We checked about 2 other places and they were full up completely. And this is like calling the day of. The KOA in the north side of Little Rock had one place left when we called, and we set it up and we went. And it was a nice little campground. It was a little older, but we were only there for one night and it was very comfortable, had a good time. And then we came home. So the main reason I forced Mary Lou, is that correct?
Pretty much, yes.
To sit here beside me this is kind of the synopsis of our entire trip to Niagara Falls, Maine, Cape Cod, Philadelphia. I almost don't say that because we really didn't get to go to Philadelphia, but we did spend a couple days in the campground down there, Pigeon Forge, and then back to Houston. So, what'd you think of the trip, my dear?
It was long.
Long?
Yes.
Was it long because you were with me?
No, it's just we tried to do too much.
Was it long because you were with Oz?
No.
Start off in the beginning of it. Had a few days to get up to Niagara Falls.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked a little bit about that, but what did you think of Niagara Falls?
It was nice. I think the campground was really nice. I think you could have spent a couple of days just in the campground and been fine. But Niagara Falls was nice. I think it would be nice to, if you're going to have your passport, go over to Canada side and see that side of Niagara Falls as well.
The Niagara on the Lake.
The Niagara on the Lake was beautiful.
Hidden gem.
Yes.
You know, that was something we didn't even know about until friends of ours in Houston told us about it. Because the wife of the couple we know, she grew up there, so, and she told us about it, and we said okay, and yes, that was definitely a thing. The main thing I gotta ask, would you go back to Niagara Falls?
Yeah, especially to Niagara on the Lake. I think if you're a wine lover, there's all the wineries that you could stop at. I mean, leisurely drive up there. The town was beautiful. The flowers, oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. I never seen such pretty flowers. It was parks. It was beautiful. I would definitely go back to Niagara on the Lakes and spend a day.
We basically were only there.
Yeah, we were there.
Parts of an afternoon.
Yeah, we weren't there very long at all.
No, so we could have spent a lot longer there. So.
Mm-hmm. But you do need to have your passport to go.
Yes.
And the Canada side, I think, would be kind of neat to see the Canada side.
The problem we had with the Canada side was it was the day before. It was like the 3rd of July, and it was we're going to do fireworks on Niagara Falls. They did them every night, like almost a week before, I believe. And we drove past that side, could see it from the road, but there was not one place to park or anything. So
don't go on the 4th of July.
That's right. All right. From there, we just took one small trip in Vermont, which was really just a layover. You know, it was kind of neat seeing those mountains there, the Green Mountains, and it was kind of rustic there. And then we went up to Maine, which the coast of the Atlantic coast. You know, we're used to Gulf Coast. I'm a little used to the West Coast and things, and we went on trips there too in the past. But the Atlantic coast, it was definitely a different coast, and the lighthouse.
The lighthouses were cool.
Mm-hmm.
It would be neat to see more lighthouses. We didn't really see but one.
And we barely got into Maine, honestly, because we could have. There is so much more to do up the coast of Maine. So, same scenario. Go again, and go up there and spend longer times and go further. I think that's the root of what we're talking about. We should have stayed longer at different places. So after Maine was Cape Cod, and Cape Cod was ruled by the whales.
Oh, yeah.
And that was, you know, I think we've talked about that before, how we've tried whale trips on at least 3 other occasions, and every time they're either out of season or the seas pick up and they can't go. And the people at Hyannis whale watching,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, they stated that the group right before us, they saw one whale come up and get air and go back down, and they were out there for 3+ hours, and that's all they saw. Where we saw a mom and a baby, but really the baby up and down, up and down, up and down for a long time. So we had it was worth the wait.
Oh yeah, I think tip. Go to the front of the boat. I think if we'd been at the front of the boat, we would have gotten a lot closer pictures. Or if you can go up high at the front of the boat, do that.
Or if your husband can operate his camera right and doesn't have it on fast forward, you know, we didn't get that great of pictures with it.
No, but I mean, just to be able to see it, even though you're not taking pictures, would have, you know, we saw it, but not as close as I think if we'd been at the front of the boat.
That was the other thing that we did wrong in Cape Cod, was we only really had a day. And when you do a 3 to 4 hour whale watching, there's just not much else you can do there. So.
And the traffic in Cape Cod there's a lot of traffic, and you don't, unless you really need to do your research, because most of the things that are in Cape Cod you don't see because they're not on the main road that comes in and goes out. They're off to in other directions, and you don't know what's there unless you've done a lot of research, which we did not do.
Which takes us straight to our 12-hour trip from Cape Cod to South New Jersey, which was right across the river from Philadelphia, which was a trip that I don't want to have to take again. No,
that was a long, long day.
The backup camera was out. I-95 was just packed.
Lots of tolls.
Lots of tolls.
Lots of tolls.
$38 on that one? Ooh. I remember I thought, but...
Because didn't we go kind of through New York City? I mean... The
George Washington Bridge, just on the north edge, you know, of New York City. So, with a trailer.
And no backup camera.
No backup camera. And a wife and a dog.
Yeah.
Wasn't a good time. Wasn't a
good
time.
Hey, we weren't bad. The wife and the dog were good.
Traffic was bad.
Traffic was bad.
But we did stay down there a couple days, which recharged our batteries. And that's one thing.
We needed to do that.
Oh, God, we're old. You know, we need to recharge batteries. Even Oz needed his battery recharged, right? So, then after that, small trip down to Lexington, Virginia, Natural Bridge, KOA, which unfortunately, when we're kind of going from one place to another, we go there, spend the night, because our next objective is get down to Pigeon Forge. And I'm doing research afterwards. You know, it wasn't a couple miles away from that place, and there was this beautiful natural bridge, 200 feet in the air, you know, and we didn't go down there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's so much things.
We really need to do a lot more research.
Yes.
On our trip planning.
Yes. And not so, let's get to here, get to there, get to here, get to here.
Yes.
Gary Sundstrom does that?
Yes, all the time. All the time.
He does?
Yes. Camper or not.
Gotta change. But we would have a better time and see a lot more if we would take our time, stay longer at different places. So, Pigeon Forge. What do you think of Pigeon Forge?
I liked it. I think it's a really good place to take older kids because there's so much to do. Little kids, I don't know. There's not a lot to do, but there's so much to do between miniature golf and go-karts and different shows and different things. You could spend several days there. And, of course, there's Dollywood, which we didn't.
You got a t-shirt?
We got a t-shirt for our granddaughter, but we didn't get to see Dollywood. But, what was the town?
Gatlinburg.
Gatlinburg, I think, would be nice to go back there and see that, too. There was some pretty cool looking things that.
Zip lines.
That I think would have been fun to do, but it was rainy the day we were there, so we got lucky the next day, and it wasn't.
It was a real nice day the next day. So,
but
the old mill area was really nice, and lots of little shopping and things. It's a place that I think
it's a vacation spot. So there's lots of traffic and lots of people in the summertime, but I would go back.
Absolutely.
I love Tennessee. I just think Tennessee is beautiful. The hills, the mountains. I just think it's beautiful.
You only like states that start with T?
I guess so.
So, any final words?
All the flowers in Cape Cod. Blue or hydrangeas blooming in July is amazing to me because we can't get them to bloom barely in the spring. Well, beautiful flowers.
We forgot to mention the seafood up in Maine too, which was really,
and the ice cream.
Oh, I was waiting. That was going to be kind of my round everything up, because this trip I think was categorized mostly by, and we got ice cream.
Yeah, we had a little too much ice cream.
We had a little too ice cream. Because, first of all, we heard in Maine.
They kept talking about Maine ice cream.
Yeah, it's the best ice cream in the world. And we went down to this place, the Scoop Deck, I think it was called.
I don't remember.
Yeah, and there were long lines, and we waited. But you know what? It was worth it.
Oh, how many hundreds of flavors of ice cream?
Oh,
hundreds.
Yes. And then cones and dishes and this. And I mean, it was just like, but in New Jersey, we got ice cream. In Pigeon Forge, we got ice cream.
Yeah.
So ice cream.
Summertime, you're supposed to have ice cream.
Was one of our sins on this trip. Traveling too fast was probably one of my sins on this trip, because it didn't allow certain people to enjoy it, including me and definitely maybe somebody else.
Yeah, we need to learn to slow down. That maybe we don't take such long trips, but spend more time where we are and do more research.
That just makes too much sense.
So we can see things, because a lot of these places we may not go back again.
Yeah, because there's always
so many
places you want to go,
see.
But maybe you can't get back there, because there is a lot more I want to see.
Oh yeah.
And I think I want to take you with me.
I guess so.
Yeah. So, I hope you've enjoyed.
Can we be done now?
This is her best part. There's two things that happen right now. The first one is we're done.
Yay.
And the second one is she gets to see the grandkids at the end of this thing, because that's her favorite part of this entire video.
That's the best part, especially now that
It's the only good-looking people that they got in the video, you know.
Get to add our new baby granddaughters. We're just missing our oldest grandson, but he wants nothing to do with it.
No. Well, does he take after you? Well, thank you for watching. We do appreciate the support, and we hope to see you next week.
Bye.
If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up.
Turn on your post notifications.
Put the comments down below. Subscribe and it'll make me happy.